Hey, it's Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. The talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com for more info. Email me through benji@alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcasts. People of Distinction is internationally syndicated solely due to the love and support that you all continue to give. We're available across all major distributors, and as long as you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. Now sit back and strap in, because on the line with us today, we have the impressive Andrea Bierria. And we're going to be discussing her amazing book, I Love Me, featuring the My Bad Bunch. Now, it's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, it's a lot of other places, man. Type it into a search bar. You're going to be greeted with all of it. But while you're at it, you got to check out her personal site. That's mybadbunch.com. You're going to gather more information on her book, hyperlinks set up to take you to the purchasing pages. And man, I'm telling you, it's a one-stop shop. Again, that's mybadbunch.com. And before we go any further, I want to quickly point out the fact that Andrea was brought to us by one of the best publishing firms in the business, Author Reputation Press. So for my writers out there who have gone through their process and now you need some assistance moving that book you developed, well, look no further than ARP, because this is exactly what they specialize in. Head on over to authorreputationpress.com and gather all the ways their fantastic team is going to help you do just that. And people, listen, it is a true pleasure to have Andrea here on the line. In a world where young hearts often face doubt, anger, and even uncertainty, I Love Me and the My Bad Bunch that go along with it, they shine a beacon, reminding kids and teens that self-worth, friendship, and even big dreams can light the way forward. Trust me when I tell you, people, this book isn't just a collection of pages, man. It is a lifeline, offering gold charts for goals, vision boards for hope, and a story that proves unity is stronger than division. And we can sit and we can talk about that for hours, just in the comparison of how strong we are together rather than being isolated. And I tell you, man, we are currently in a point in time where there is a whole lot of division. A book of this magnitude is perfectly timed for our children, but a lot of the adults out there are going to be able to take some helpful information as well. Sit back and strap in. Andrea, first and foremost, welcome to People of Distinction, and thank you very much for being a guest. How are you doing today?
I am fine, thank you.
Wonderful.
I am feeling very vibrant. Thank you for asking, and hoping you're well as well.
Thank you very much. I'm doing pretty well, Andrea. I can't complain. I have my health. I have my beautiful family. Things are going well. I feel better than I deserve. I tell you that much. And listen, it is a pleasure to have you here. Your book, I think, offers a lot, and definitely something that I think is going to help inspire and really offer a lot of confidence to so many. So thank you for writing it, but more importantly, thank you for being here with us to share it with our listening audience members, because this is definitely going to be something they're going to love to take advantage of. First and foremost, let's learn a little bit more about yourself and your background, please.
Well, I'm an educator. I work with children with special needs. I also counsel adults. I am a life coach. As I mentioned in my book, I do life coaching. I counsel children, adults, teens to help get a better understanding of where they're trying to go, what goals they're trying to reach, and what's stopping them, what can we do to help them move forward.
Mm-hmm. Well, without further ado, let's jump into this amazing book, I Love Me, featuring the My Bad Bunch. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Okay, well, first and foremost, the book basically reminds me of my sons, and that's how I based the book. That's a the book is basically coming from my heart because of my son. And it's funny because the title, My Bad Bunch, it comes from one of my sons. Every time I would ask him, Brandon, you forgot to throw out the garbage. He would go, my bad, Mom. And for some reason, it would make me feel at ease because he acknowledged what I had mentioned to him. Then when he would say my bad, I would be expecting him to take out the garbage or whatever I had commanded him to do or asked him to do. And sometimes the garbage wouldn't get done. But because he said, my bad, Mom, I assumed that he was going to take care of it. And sometimes he just wouldn't. And I'd have to mention it again. And he'll say, my bad, Mom. He'll say again, my bad, Mom. And so that's really where I got the title from, based on my son, Brandon, who would always make me feel at ease when he would say, my bad, Mom. And yeah, so that's basically it.
Well, so we talked about the second half of the title, right? The my bad part. But I love the first part, the I love me. And listen, you can't deny how powerful that sentiment is. Well, I'm curious to know, why did you choose this as the central message for young readers, and how do you hope it reshapes their self-perception?
Well, you know what? Growing up, it's very tough to find your identity, to, figure out what am I going to do with my life, with myself, who is going to accept me. It's very difficult. I mean, to be honest, it's challenging.
Yeah.
Even more challenging to a young, as a child, as challenging as it is to an adult. Because as an adult, you kind of know who you are. You've already shaped yourself and who you're going to be or trying to be, who you're trying to become. But as a child, adolescent, you're just figuring out what am I going to be? Are people going to like me? Mm-hmm. So I want you to know that you have to love yourself. I love me means exactly what it stands for. Love yourself, no matter what, because people are going to prejudge you, and no matter what, you have to deal with who you are. I always told my sons, do not do anything that you cannot look in the mirror at yourself. And, and wonder, why did I do this or what have you. You have to do things that you can look at yourself in the mirror and stand for yourself, stand up for yourself, look at yourself and know that's your true self. So don't do anything that's going to cause you to stray away
right
from who you are. We all make mistakes. And you can make a mistake. That doesn't mean that defines who you are. Mm-hmm. I love me means love yourself. Love yourself no matter what. Fall in love with yourself before you fall in love with someone else. You have to love yourself first.
Andrea, I love that message. Thank you very much for sharing. And not only is that a great, powerful message to be taken, but people, there are so many other gems to be found here. A lot of which, listen, there are vision boards incorporated, goal charts that are incorporated to help your children feel motivated, to help them paint a roadmap to accomplish their goals. And that's where I want to go next. Andrea, how did you decide to incorporate them into the book? And throughout this process of not only creating the book, but now having it published, seeing other children utilize it and interact with it, what's one surprising way a child has used them after reading your book?
Well, basically, it gives them a foundation of what goals they're trying to achieve. During the summer, when the children are out of school, I conduct workshops so where they can say what they want to become or what they're working towards, and it's very helpful. It gives them a ground to begin. Well, I think I like this. I think I
Yeah.
like to do this, and it kind of sets the tone of, what do I like? What am I going to become? Because it's a very hard choice, and you would be surprised how hard it is to make a decision. What am I going to be when I grow up? And it's different when you have a parent who's a lawyer, and then you decide to become a lawyer because your parent is a lawyer. But not all of us have that luxury
Yeah.
of having you know, a parent who has a career, and you decide you want to follow in their footsteps. Not all of us have that luxury, and it's okay if we don't. We have to find who we are for ourselves.
Hmm.
If we don't have anyone that's going to provide us with a roadmap of where we're trying to go, then we have to create a roadmap for ourselves because we need to be someone.
Right.
We need to be somebody. We need to know what we're going to do with our lives. And we need to do these things at a young age. You don't have to wait till you graduate from high school to decide. I know uh, a lot of people who are still trying to figure out who they are,
Hmm.
what should they do with their lives. And they're older. They're older, you know, they're older than the average child. They're actually, some are teenagers, some are adults.
Yeah.
It's not an easy task to figure out, well, if I do this, am I going to like this? How can I provide myself with a career, with, with something that I want to do the rest of my life, something that I would like to enjoy, grow into, to be able to teach others, but it has to start somewhere. You
Yeah.
need to build a foundation.
As we close out of here, I'm curious to know. We understand the inspiration behind the book, and especially with regards to the name, or appropriately titled the My Bad Bunch. You'd mentioned your son earlier in the show, so we understand that connection. Well, I'm curious, which member of the My Bad Bunch do you relate to most, and why?
Well, I love all the characters from the book. There's Jen, Lynn, Tobias, and Eli, and they're all of different nationalities, so it's
Mm-hmm.
multicultural. And I relate mainly to all of them, to be honest. Um, they're determined. Eli makes foolish decisions, which as kids we do.
Yeah.
Jed and Lynn are warriors. They fight for rights, and they're very compassionate in their journey of growing into adulthood. So they're very compassionate of the topics and the things that are going around in the world. I just created another video, which my videos are on YouTube.com. You can just put in Andrea Bierria, and all the videos that I have created um, for the book are on there as well. And it just basically depicts what's going on in the world and how they're trying to decipher it. Even though they're young adults, or not even young adults, they're teenagers. They still have it's still affecting them.
Right.
They're still aware of what's going on, who's president, the consequences that's going on with things like deportation. I mean, they're dealing with real life issues because we cannot say, well, you're just a kid. They know, they're aware what's going
Mm-hmm.
on. They're not 5 years old. When you become a teenager, you know what's going on in your surroundings. You're aware. And that's all I wanted to kind of point out, that they're going through things. And what I'm going to do with the characters of the book, it's not going to be called I Love Me anymore. It's basically the My Bad Bunch. Um, they're going to go through different milestones in their life.
Mm.
And I'm going on with just featuring them. They're right now, they were in middle school when I started the book. They're in high school now. They'll be going off to college. Maybe, they'll marry. They'll probably marry. They're just going to experience life as they grow into adulthood. And they're going to go through episodes that will prepare them, or maybe not prepare them. We're not all prepared what goes on. Our life is not scripted. So they just have to kind of watch their steps as they go along the way.
Yeah.
They have to know to look out for, who to be around. It's just a lot of uh, aspects to become an adult and a responsible adult. Picking out your career goal and what do I have to do to achieve those goals. That's the important thing. And also to remember to have fun. You're just a kid, right? Remember, you're just
Mm-hmm.
a kid. But it's not all hopscotch and lollipops. You go into adulthood, and it comes rather fast. You would be surprised. You'll see one of your students, and then when summer ends, they come back. They're taller. They're so they're growing every year. You're like, oh wow.
Right.
Some of them still have some of them, their children will be children, and some will mature. Some will kind of gradually mature, and they're gonna go through their milestones like we all do. To become who we are. But we just want them to have a good opportunity to really have good insights on what they want to do with their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us, I know people who really didn't figure these things out, and you don't have a career, you have a job, and that's fine too, because the main goal is to be able to take care of yourself. So if you decide, well, I don't want to go to school, I'm going to just work, that's fine. Judgment free. We all have expectations, but not everyone follows that path. But that doesn't mean you're going to be, your life may be different than someone who did choose that other path. But that doesn't mean you don't have a chance to become who you want to become, who you're going to grow into. My book is basically instilling and making good decisions.
People, listen, one last time, man. It's Amazon, it's Barnes& Noble, it's mybadbunch.com. The book is called I Love Me, featuring the My Bad Bunch. This is something you want to add to your shelf. There has been so much powerful words of wisdom that have been offered today. And one of the biggest things that I'm taking from it is the reminder that that self-love isn't just a lesson. I mean, it's a lifelong adventure. She mentioned how this is going to develop into other books because the individuals in this My Bad Bunch, man, they're growing. They're experiencing other adventures now, and that is so reminiscent of life. It is a lifelong adventure, and I Love Me is the perfect compass for young readers navigating their way. So to all the readers out there listening in, man, grab this book. Build your vision boards and remember, just like the My Bad Bunch, you're never alone on that journey. And listen, along the way, we're going to make some My Bad moments, but it's important to turn them into My Bold ones, okay? Through those mistakes, we learn, we grow, and hopefully we prosper through the wisdom that is gained. Andrea, this has been a true pleasure, an absolute delight. Thank you once again for being a guest on People of Distinction.
Thank you for having me. You're a very good interviewer. I appreciate you. Thank you.